It's the Riot Podcast. This is the Friday, August 11th edition of the show. Welcome in. Today in the show, we had a great question. The question was, what would you do if you were your dog for a day, if you got to be a dog for a day? And so you'll hear us talk about that. But then we also got somebody who texted in and said, what if it was reversed? Ian texted in. He said, what if your dog was you, a human, for a day? What do you think your dog would do? What would your dog be most excited to do as a human?
That's a good question.
How would their behavior change?
Well, for my dog, he would, since he's allowed to go anywhere, he would probably just want to go wherever he wanted.
Oh, you think your dog, human version of Jim the dog, would sprint out the front door and just run?
Yeah, he would just run to the closest place where there's a lot of human beings.
Yeah.
So he would probably like go downtown and just walk around and introduce himself to a bunch of people. That's probably what he would do. That's like his dream scenario.
Yeah, that does sound like what a dog would do. I also think that the second thing you have to think about is your dog would be so jazzed to eat any human food.
Oh, yeah, true. Open up the fridge and go crazy.
Yeah, think about turning your dog in human form loose at like a grocery store. It would probably just demolish the ground beef section.
How long until your dog gets arrested, realistically?
Oh, I mean,
the first day, right?
Either arrested or killed, probably within like 30 minutes, I would think.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Also, I think if if my dog took over my body, he would probably like go through my phone and text like every girl that I have in there and tell him to come over.
Oh, you
think
think
exactly
so?
what he would do because he loves the ladies and he would immediately become super attached.
Yeah, I feel
he would be
like-
the clinging, overprotective type. That's what he would be.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah, I'd be afraid as to how the dog would interact. Like, how do I put this? Like sexually as a human.
Oh,
Can
my
I just
gosh.
say that? Like, you know, dogs.
His kissing style would be atrocious.
Yeah, it would just be, that is reason enough alone, I think,
He'd be going
to
for kisses nonstop.
perform this experiment.
Yeah, he would be going for kisses nonstop.
Yeah, I mean,
It'd be a disaster.
The thing is, we're not neutered, so I think that's important to consider. Yeah, this is an experiment that definitely does not need to be tried, although to imagine, it's really quite a scene to picture. All right.
Yeah, it'd be something crazy.
Yeah, it sure would. Well, that's in the podcast. You can find out how we would behave as dogs, which we'd behave much better, I think. And we got a whole lot of other good stuff in there, too. I'm headed out for a road trip this weekend, so I'll report back for that on Monday. You got anything?
Nope. I got a wedding tomorrow. Best of luck to me.
All right. Have fun.
I'll see you soon.
Catch you next time.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. RadioU.
I've got a mom here. She's vegan. And her
Is that important?
It is important. It's very important. Integral to the story. Yeah, I'm not just bringing that up. She's vegan.
She's
I'm not giving her a whole profile. She's vegan and she took ballet in middle school. No, she's vegan. Her daughter somehow acquired lice. You ever had lice?
I have had lice.
Yeah, no fun, right?
You ever had lice?
I've had people in my family had lice, and then I had like a stray lice. And what's one lice? A louse?
Okay, so you had lice. Stop
I mean, yeah, it
trying to act
counts.
like you didn't have it.
I mean, it counts. I technically had it, but it really, like, I didn't have it. I didn't have lice, you know?
Oh, I had lice.
you
I
did.
owned lice, dude. I was lice
You
for a
were
while.
lice? You have to shave your head?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, no.
It was a disaster.
Well, here's
Last time I ever tried on hats and lids ever again.
Yeah, that's for sure. Here's the problem. This little girl, she's got lice, but her mom's a vegan, and she takes the vegan thing very seriously. You know, some vegans don't want to kill any living thing.
Not even a parasite?
Including a louse. And so this has raised concern from another mom whose daughter is a friend of this girl with the lice. And so she's trying to find answers as to what to do because evidently the vegan mom's answer to getting rid of the lice is to comb them into the garden.
What does that even mean?
She's taking her daughter out to the yard, combing her hair out with like the lice comb, and just kind of letting the lice hopefully fall into the garden where they have the best chance of survival. That is a quote here.
That's probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. But people just always surprise me with their just like level of just stupidity.
I mean, she's just very compassionate.
I don't care what she thinks she's saving. That makes no sense whatsoever. A lice, like your daughter's in danger, and you're just that's just bad. I'll say it. Bad parenting. I'm not afraid to say it. I'll say she's a bad parent for not wanting to kill lice off of her daughter's head. The 7-year-old. Ridiculous.
I don't think a lot of people are going to disagree with you. The best advice so far that I've seen because this other mom, right? What do? You don't want your daughter to not be like these two girls are friends. You don't want them to not be.
Oh, we ain't friends anymore.
No. Well, some people say, why don't mom, you get the two girls and be like, hey, let's play hairdresser.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you just, you got the lice shampoo for the both of them, and you go ahead and take matters into your own hands.
Let's have a little spa day.
Yeah, that's right. But
you just do it yourself.
I think the concern would be those lice would come right back. They get on your pillow. They get on your, like they're probably in. I mean, if the mom's not gonna, if the vegan mom's not gonna comb them out of her daughter's hair except into the garden, they're all over that house.
Oh, they just live there now.
Yeah, that's the lice's house.
Oh, that's so gross.
Which also makes me think that if you're any other animal, you should also come to this vegan mom's house and start taking advantage of her.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a raccoon. You should just move into the basement.
Just live there.
Yeah. Nothing's going to happen.
Because what you going to do? She's not going to kick you out.
Yeah, that's right.
Not a poor little raccoon just eating all your food.
Yeah, all of a sudden, I guess it wouldn't have meat. I was going to say unlimited hot dogs, but vegan hot dogs, tofu dogs.
Yeah, definitely this is going to be a long life for the 7-year-old living forever with lice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happens if you have long-term lice. I've never really looked into that.
I feel like at school, somebody's going to raise concerns.
Like maybe Becky isn't allowed to come anymore.
That's right. Maybe
she has to be homeschooled.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
Isaiah, I believe this. There's two types of people in this world.
Winners and losers?
Winners and losers. You know what? You could boil it down to that. You could. I was thinking those that are moving forward and those that are moving in reverse.
That sounds good to me.
I don't think there's any in between.
You don't think there's anybody who's stagnant?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because I think the moment that you put it in neutral, I think that's when you start going in reverse. One, because everybody else is moving forward, so they're moving ahead of you. So that's putting space. And then two, with, I guess these kind of fly in the face of each other, but the people that are moving forward are moving ahead of you. And then the rest of the world is like, you think the world's doing great? I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, you think you just take a look at the picture of the whole world.
This isn't my favorite year.
Yeah, the world. And what I believe is if you're just like, okay, neutral, stagnant, I think I've done all I can do. I'm doing okay. The world's just going to start dragging you down because that's what the world does. Because I look around you and tell me that the world is building people up and making them better.
It's a little negative right now.
Yeah,
a little negative.
And I hate to be negative too, but I don't think that. I think the alternative to that is you got to make sure you keep moving forward. You got to make sure you keep moving forward. You keep growing as a person because the moment you decide, even if it's subconsciously, I think I've hit my peak.
I think I'm good. I think I'm chill.
I've accomplished enough, and this is where I can stand here. I'm a good enough person right here. I think you got to keep moving. I think you got to keep growing, and God is all about growth. Jesus wants you to keep growing. He doesn't want you to get stagnant, and he sure doesn't want you to start going backwards and sliding into stuff that really you should have moved past in life. Jesus wants to help you keep growing as a person, to help you get better every day, and to be there with you every step of the way as you continue to grow, because growing and moving forward, especially in this difficult world that it is not always easy. Jesus wants to help you out, and it's as simple as saying, hey, God, I want to keep growing. I want to keep moving forward, and I want your help with that. Show me how, and he will. You want to know more? RadioU.com/free gift.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
For the show, the best meteor shower of the year. It's coming up.
That's exciting.
Yeah, buckle up because this weekend, NASA says the best meteor shower of the year is happening. It is the Perseids.
Is that like a yearly thing?
It's a yearly thing, yeah.
The Perseids.
Yeah, the Perseids meteor shower, where you spend your nights this weekend out looking up at the sky, and you're in for it.
But you can't just do that from anywhere. You got to be out in the country.
You got to go out in the sticks. And Isaiah and I think we're in agreement on this. This is always a great date night idea.
This is a great date night, but high risk though.
Yeah, it sure is.
Because if you take her all the way out in the middle of the woods, number one, she's gonna think you're gonna kill her. And number two, if you guys don't see any meteors, you are blowing it.
Yeah, but you don't see any meteors. Maybe it's because maybe you guys just get too busy talking. You just get lost in each other, and you forget about the meteors, and it doesn't really matter because there's no distractions, and it's just the two of you, and it's a chance for you to get to know each other.
Well, you better have a lot to say.
You better have a lot to say.
Because if you're sitting in the middle of the woods with a girl on a first date, number one, she's going to be nervous, as I would be as well. And you better keep that conversation going until you see a meteor go by.
I don't recommend the woods. I recommend a wide open field.
Oh, maybe a cliff. How about a cliff?
Oh, yeah. That could be real
Like
cute.
a lookout?
Yes. Now we're talking. I like that. But yeah, the woods, because, the trees are just going to get in your way.
True.
So I'm thinking a nice wide open field, maybe a field of barley. I think that sounds romantic. I don't even know if I've been in a field of barley.
Barley?
Yeah. I just think that sounds like that would be the proper grain for this type of scenario. And yeah, have some conversation topics locked and loaded. Don't write them down because it'll be too dark to see. Don't put them in your phone. That's not right. That's light pollution. So you got to have them all up here, all in your mind. A bunch of conversation topics ready to go so that you and your special someone can go out and enjoy the Perseids.
Have you ever seen a meteor?
Yeah,
I've never seen one.
You never seen one?
I don't think I've ever seen one.
Oh, no, you know what that tells me?
I don't look up in the sky much.
Yeah, you're not very observant, and you're a city slicker who never ventures outside of the bounds of a city to
That's
go
just not true
where
at all.
where it's dark enough where you can see meteors.
I grew up in the middle of the woods for my entire life, but I've never seen a meteor that I can remember.
It didn't make much of an impression on you. You probably have. You just didn't notice.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been one above my head. I just haven't quite seen it. Aren't you supposed to wish on a meteor? Isn't that?
Yeah, you can do that. It's kind of like basically a shooting star. I don't think there's a real meaningful difference.
Oh, so. I love wishing. I love making wishes.
Yeah, well, the Perseids are the perfect time for that because it's not just like you might see one meteor. You might see a bunch.
So you get a bunch of wishes.
Yeah, a bunch of wishes.
You're talking 10, 11 wishes.
And odds are at least one of them will come true.
You have to think, right?
You would have to hope. So enjoy the Perseids this weekend.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
If you were your dog just for a day, what would you do? How would you spend that day?
Relaxing.
Chilling out.
I think I would sleep all day long.
Number 2 answer.
Oh, is that so?
That's, I have a survey here of what people say they would do if in this exact scenario. What would you do if you were your dog for a day? And coming in at the number 2 most likely thing was sleep until noon. 42% of people say they would do that.
You know what else I would do?
What's up? What else?
I would want my owner to give me a back scratch.
Oh, that sounds
to be
nice.
like a massage. Dogs are just constantly getting massages. Isn't that a crazy thing? You just constantly get a little rub, a little massage. Where if I am asking everyone I know, everyone I see to give me a massage, all of a sudden I'm the weirdo.
You get turned down constantly. You know what I'd love even more than a massage that you can never get as a person? Belly rubs. Is that so wrong?
Belly rubs?
Dogs get belly rubs all the time. So
I don't know if I've ever had somebody rub my belly.
Exactly. But if you were a dog, your belly's fair game. Roll on over.
That's what my dog Jim does every day.
Roll on over. Try to find a person that's not going to rub your belly if you're a dog.
Oh, yeah. When they go for the belly rub, it's not automatic they're getting the belly rub.
Yeah. Right. So that would be a nice little bonus. The top answer on the list, this is a lie. Play all day long.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You know how silly it'd be to play as a dog? Someone just throws something.
Yeah.
You go and get it. And you bring it back.
And you'd get tuckered out so quickly.
Like, imagine if we were sitting in here and I was just like, go get it. And I just threw a ball and you.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be annoying.
That wouldn't entertain you.
No, not at all.
Maybe tug of war with the rope.
No.
You think that'd be, you'd have more of an attention span for that?
Maybe like one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But realistically, I'm not playing all day long.
Another big answer was sleeping in places they're not normally allowed to. So what, the floor?
The crate?
Who's stopping you?
You can sleep wherever you want to in your own house.
You're a person.
Sleep where I usually don't sleep.
There's a reason you sleep on your mattress. It's because it's the comfiest place to sleep.
Yeah, where else would you want to sleep? I don't understand that.
That was the number 3 answer on this survey.
What a silly answer.
You got anything else you'd like to do besides sleep all day and get back scratches?
That's all I've got so far.
What else would I do? I don't know. Like, what else can dogs do and get away with that humans can't? And you can go to the bathroom anywhere, but that doesn't really sound like a perk to me.
That doesn't really sound that much fun. Like, peeing inside doesn't, like, it's still my house.
It actually sounds, like a detriment.
Yeah.
How about this one? Bite somebody?
Oh, you want to bite somebody?
Yeah. You know what's messed up?
What?
Thinking about that, actually, you get in more trouble if you bite somebody as a dog than you do as a human.
If you bite someone as a dog, they might, like, put you down.
Yeah, you might get killed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it should be reversed. It's way weirder to bite somebody. You have way more control as a person. This is an error with our society.
That's like if I, like, punched you in the face, if they were like, we're going to have to put him on death row. It's the end of Isaiah's days.
Yeah, he's not allowed to be in public anymore.
But for a dog, if you bite somebody one time, you get put in like a super warning, and all of a sudden you have a muzzle over your mouth.
Yep.
You bite somebody a second time, game over.
Yeah, that's it for you.
That is crazy.
I think I would not do that. Maybe just bark a lot. Just like, be as loud as possible. I think that must be fun because dogs do that. Some dogs do that all the time.
They just bark nonstop.
Yeah, they seem to really enjoy it. So.
You know what I might do? See how fast I can run.
Yeah.
If I was like a cool, a greyhound or something, run really fast, that'd be kind of cool.
What would you do if you were your dog for a day? 8772 Radio U.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
I'm heading out on a road trip this weekend, and I want to know some secrets to success, some stuff I might not have thought of that can make my road trip a little more fun, a little more enjoyable. Here's what some people are saying in the text, Isaiah. Did you see that I've got multiple people here? Owen and Scott texting in saying that I need audiobooks.
That sounds like a good idea.
You think audiobooks would work for me?
Audiobook, yeah.
You ever use an audiobook?
I've listened to audiobooks before.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done it in a while, but I think that would be something that if I was going to do a long road trip, I probably would choose an audiobook to listen to. I think they're wildly underrated.
Yeah, you're probably right. Because the odds are I'm not going to read a book. That's just not what I typically tend to do.
Well, not while you're driving, probably no.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm not necessarily driving the whole time. But audiobooks, see, I do something typically very similar, and I'll do podcasts.
Yeah.
But something that will wind up happening if I listen to the same podcast for a long time, that like the same genre, or like the same whatever, I might get tired of it. And the audiobook is exactly that. So I guess I can just switch to something else.
But when you finish an audiobook, you feel way better about it than when you finish a podcast.
Yeah, you're right.
If you finish an episode of a podcast, then you just go on with your life. But when you finish an audiobook, it's like you just read a whole book.
That is a good point. And yeah, there's no saying I can listen to the audiobook for a while, switch to the Riot podcast and listen to myself, and then switch back to the audiobook, and then I don't get tired of it.
Yeah, true.
I don't. Scott recommends something exciting like The Hobbit or Star Wars. Right now, you're starting to lose me, Scott.
I like The Hobbit.
I know you do.
Oh, you're not much of a fan?
Yeah, you're not riding with me.
Fair enough.
Frog, this is interesting, says, stop frequently, I like that, for 5 to 10 minute workouts.
You can't like that.
That's not what I do, Frog. But he says, it raises a good point. He says it relieves stress from the road. wakes you up by increasing your blood flow and keeps you from getting tight muscles and cramping up and all that.
It makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
If you stop at like a rest stop,
yeah,
a quick little jog.
That's another good one.
Get your body moving.
Hear from Michelle, who says to plan out where you're going to stop so that they're like nice or fun, like think State Park or something like that, like a kind of something scenic or something where, just more enjoyable than stopping at a rest stop, because there's nothing really joyful about that.
Okay.
That's some
interesting
ideas.
concept.
Yeah, you got anything?
I would say I think it's always important to pack snacks for the road trip. You don't want to get them at the gas station because then you walk in there. Number one, you're trying to get in and out quickly anyway. It's best if you go to like a grocery store and just get snacks, because then you're going to spend less money on them too, and you can get snacks you're excited about. Like if you want Pringles, go to Kroger and go get Pringles, or if you want a certain candy, go to Kroger and get yourself like a big bag of it.
Yeah.
That way when you're driving along, like I would pick, like, depending on how long the trip is, a certain amount of snacks. Like if you want one snack per hour, that way like you can be excited, like, okay, it's hour 2, it's time to bust out the Pringles. Hour 3, it's time to bust out the Ruffles. Hour 4, give me the Take 5, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think it's better if you pack snacks. And then the other thing that I would say,
You have a very regimented snack schedule, by the way.
it gives you something to look forward to,
Oh, okay.
Hour 2, I'm like, okay, finally broke that second hour. I can get out something different,
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is you should make sure you clean your car thoroughly.
Oh, that's
because
good.
you're going to feel a lot better driving along if you have like a really clean car on the
that's for
inside.
sure.
And so I think that's an ideal one.
That's
You don't want to be riding a dirty car.
That's a real pro tip. To go back to the snacks, I do feel, though, I just feel more excited when I get food from a gas station than when it's stuff I already packed. And it could be the exact same thing. I could get a Take 5 bar at Kroger and save it and be like, that it's in the cooler, it's waiting for you. But it wouldn't feel as fun as if I stop at a gas station and get a Take 5,
Oh, you think going in and buying one?
Yeah.
Oh,
it feels more exciting because you're getting what you want in that moment, what looks good to you there. Jaden texted in.
Just throw my idea to the side. I get it.
Jaden says, only do local foods and not McDonald's or Wendy's. I do like doing that when you're going along. Maybe not necessarily like a mom and pop place, but going to restaurants you can't go to normally where you normally are. That's one of my top things, actually. And that's something my parents taught me way back in the day.
Oh, like if you're somewhere.
Yeah, eat places that are special that you can't get at home.
Oh, like In-N-Out.
Sure, if I was in that area,
that's pretty unique thinking there.
Yeah.
Going somewhere like that, where because when people go out to California, they like the first thing on their mind is, I should get In-N-Out.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I get that? It's not only here.
When I have McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly. I have McDonald's here that I can just eat at home. Let's just do that here.
All right,
Makes sense.
just roast Jaden's idea then. That's totally fine.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's helpful. All right. Well, now I'm ready for a road trip. I'll tell you what, and I'll report back on Monday and let you know how it goes.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Doing this every Friday leading up to the beginning of college and NFL season, where we just, Isaiah and I are going to hand you out some predictions for the season, and we'd love to hear yours as well at 8772 Radio U. We got kind of different tactics we're taking for each Friday, but this Friday, it's bold predictions. These got to be long shots. These got to be things that are seemingly unlikely to happen. So let's get into it. And you can text yours into 8772 Radio U. I'll go first, Isaiah. My first bold prediction from the NFL is that a non-quarterback will win the MVP.
Dang, we really should have discussed these before.
Oh, no.
But that works for me. A non-quarterback, huh?
Yeah, I have two guys in mind, and they are Christian McCaffrey and Tyreek Hill. I think there's a real good shot that one of them wins the MVP, because you think about it, if either of their teams do really well, like their quarterback is going to feel like less the reason, and one of those players will feel like the reason they do really well. So I think this could be a year where, maybe Patrick Mahomes, people are tired of him. Joe Burrow, he's starting the season injured. Josh Allen, who knows? So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good season for a running back or wide receiver to win the MVP.
I like it. I'm gonna go with my first one, Trevor Lawrence. and the Jacksonville Jaguars will fall off after their uprising last season, and the Tennessee Titans will be the winners of the AFC South. The Jacksonville Jaguars missed the playoffs.
Missed the playoffs
entirely. Everyone's been hyped up on Trevor Lawrence. People are even saying he might be an MVP candidate based off of what? 6 games at the end of last season. The last time a team and a quarterback we based 6 games off the end of their season in a win in the playoffs was the Cleveland Browns, who followed that season up with a 6-10 record.
Yeah.
You can't always get the hype train rolling weeks 9 through 17 and one playoff win. I mean, I just don't buy the hype yet. The Titans, who have ran that division for years, just added D-Hop. They're a good team.
I like that, not because I think the Jaguars are worse than everybody says. I just think the Titans are better. My next prediction is the New England Patriots will finish above the Buffalo Bills in the AFC.
That's crazy talk. That's wild.
The Bills, they lost their defensive coordinator. They kind of ran him out of town for some reason, even though they had the best defense in the league last year. So I think you can't help but fall off there. And there's lots of question marks with their receivers. Josh Allen, look, he's been great, but he's also a little bit of a gunslinger. Maybe he could be a little more turnover prone than it seems. And with all that running around he does, I always feel like it's only a matter of time. I don't care how big of a body you have. You're always at injury risk.
So
and obviously, I love the Patriots. This year, notably, they don't have defensive coordinators as their offensive coordinators. I think that can only mean improvement.
So are you thinking the quarterback's going to be Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi?
Yeah, Mac Jones should be fine.
One of them.
Honestly,
one of those quarterbacks will figure it out.
I don't even think it matters.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
It could be Malik Cunningham after we saw last night. Who knows?
Okay. My pick is the best teams in the NFC will be one of these two: the Seattle Seahawks or the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, that's bold.
They're going to lead the NFC.
Bold.
I mean, I don't understand why everyone's so sold on the 49ers. Because the 49ers have a good roster. Who's their quarterback? It's Brock Purdy. And we're going to just believe that he's good after, yet again, the end of last season.
Yeah.
Yet the only reason people aren't picking the Seattle Seahawks to win that division is because of Geno Smith, who people aren't trusting for what? He put together a full great season last year. He's been in the league for years, and we would rather have a second-year quarterback like Brock Purdy. And the 49ers roster is good. Their defense is good, but the Seattle Seahawks have one of the best young teams in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, their defense is fantastic, and they also have 3 of the best wide receivers in the NFL. And yes, I'm talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba already.
All right, I'm with you on hating on the 49ers. You're not going to hear a lot of arguments from me. I don't know if that means the Seahawks are going to be the best team in the NFC, but I mean, who else is it going to be? When you forget it, if you push the 49ers and Eagles away, who else is left? Don't say the Cowboys. You know what? I got one big one for college too. You want to do that next?
Okay.
Let's do that next. We'll do one more prediction each coming from college.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Bold predictions for the upcoming football seasons. I've got one big one for college. Here it is. You ready? I believe that only 2 conferences will be represented in the college football playoff.
That makes sense, just like last year, pretty much. I guess last year was 3.
I
So
think
you're
for the
thinking
first time ever, only 2 conferences will be represented.
2 SEC, 2 Big Ten.
That's one iteration.
But that's
it could
the
be
only
that.
It
It could be that.
What other iteration is there when there's 2 ACC teams?
2 SEC. I think you're doing this. It's a given that 2 SEC are getting in, and then Notre Dame, and then one other team.
Oh, you're considering. Got it.
Yeah,
Notre Dame.
And that other team could be, who knows who it could be. I don't have to go through all the list, but yeah, I think there's a possibility it could be 2 and 2, like 2 teams from one, 2 teams from another, or Notre Dame gets in there, still 2 SEC teams, and then who knows? Who knows? I think that will happen this year.
Yeah, I don't think that's that crazy to say. Georgia, Alabama, Notre Dame, and somebody else. I mean, that seems
makes
pretty.
A lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I was expecting bolder from you.
You don't think that's that bold? It's never happened before.
I don't think it's that bold. Notre Dame's made the playoff a handful of times.
Yeah.
For 2 SEC teams to make it, Notre Dame, I think that makes sense. That wouldn't be the craziest of predictions. Mine's not that bold either.
Okay.
Only because I think if you took my odds on FanDuel or DraftKings, this is probably one of the higher ones. I think this is the year that a non-QB wins the Heisman.
Oh,
happened
who do you have in
years.
mind?
Happened a couple years back with Devonta Smith, if you guys remember. I think we're in a very similar situation to that year, and that is a star wide receiver with a first-year quarterback, right?
Okay.
Who are we thinking of? None other than Marvin Harrison Jr. on Ohio State, with either Devin Brown or Kyle McCord, because they are much more likely to give him the credit than the first-year quarterback. And the other reason I think that there's a high likelihood this could happen is because the main person who is most likely to win the Heisman this year, Caleb Williams, just won it last year. And the NCAA is highly against. It's almost never happens. I think it's happened what?
It happened
twice?
one time.
Happened twice in history, right?
Somebody won the Heisman twice? It was Archie Griffin.
Yeah, didn't Tim Tebow do it too?
No.
He didn't get it twice?
Nobody else has done it.
Yeah, so Archie Griffin only won ever, and so they're highly against that.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. And so he's the best quarterback in college football, and so if they aren't going to give it to him, they're not going to give it to another quarterback.
Well, I don't know about that.
You don't think so? I mean, I think he's going to put up the numbers he's going to put up this year. I think he's going to have the best stats of any quarterback in college football. And so if they don't give it to him, who are they going to give it to?
Somehow it always just works out, though. You know what I mean? Somehow it always works out that the guy who everybody thinks is the favorite doesn't actually work out, especially if he's already won it before. So I think it's a good prediction. Good prediction. I think you need a really good team to be able to, Ohio State would have to go undefeated, and that's not happening. So, but no, very bold. I'll give you credit on the bold points. It's a very bold prediction.
Yeah, I feel as if it could happen. Marvin Harrison Jr., like the most hyped up college receiver since last year with Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah,
it's almost like this wide receiver youth thing at Ohio State. It's crazy.
He didn't win it either. 8772 RadioU.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else, and that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
Isaiah, you're the kind of guy that likes a good tan, right?
I do like a good tan.
But what's the problem with tanning? 1, time consuming. 2, dangerous. That's probably should be higher on the list. That's the number one concern. Dangerous, right? You constantly getting a tan. You're setting yourself up for leathery skin and cancer later in life.
You got a lotion.
3,
lubricate.
3, you could
moisturize.
get sunburned. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. 4, if you go and do it at a tanning salon, you got to pay money. So what if there was an easier way? What if I told you there was a way that's so easy, you could just run to the grocery store, grab it right now, and in just days, you'd be tanner than you ever believe.
Oh, you're talking about self-tanner, like the moisturizer you just rub on that everybody uses?
No, that's not the same. That's not the same as looking real nice and tan, right?
I think a lot of girls would argue with you.
I don't know. I think there's a better way than that, too.
A better way?
I've got a better way. And no tan lines. What if I told you I could help you avoid tan lines?
Are you talking about self-tanner?
No, I'm not.
The moisturize on?
I'm talking about something even better. And this hack has other benefits as well.
Okay.
It's not just going to help you get tan. I'm talking about carrots.
Carrots?
Yeah, people have discovered on TikTok that if you want a nice all over tan, you eat three big carrots a day, 3 large stalks of carrots every day. And that, the reason they say you are what you eat is because when you eat carrots, you start to turn orange just like a carrot. Whatever that coloring is in the carrot, it gets into you. And all of a sudden, you're looking a whole lot more bronze than you were before. A whole lot more sun-kissed than you were before. No time outside required.
See, this here, you're just leading the people astray.
Why? It's true.
A carrot tan?
Yeah.
You expect me to believe that if I eat 3 carrots a day, that I'm just going to get tan?
Yeah, you're going to get tan. If you eat enough carrots, yes, it will work. Now, here's some of the...
How many marshmallows do I have to eat to get pale? Is that like a lot of them?
I don't know if that works the same. Maybe cauliflower might do that to you. I'm not sure. Now, some people are saying it works. It almost works too well because if you eat a bunch of carrots, and you don't even realize, right? You're not doing it intentionally to get the tan aspect of it. You could wind up looking jaundice, which you don't want. That's no
because
good.
you're eating so many
You're
carrots.
eating so many carrots
that you're going to get so orange.
People will be. Yes, that is.
It's impossible.
look at these people. Look at them.
What are you talking about? Look at them.
Look at these TikToks. They look fantastic. They look like they've been just perfectly touched by the rays of the sun.
I don't see it.
Cooked for just the right time. And all they did was consume a bunch of carrots. You don't even have to eat the carrots straight up. That's not what I would do. I hate raw carrots.
Really?
You blend them into stuff.
See, I like the crunch. I'm all about that crunch.
Ooh, you know what I could do? What about carrot juice? I'm going to start just sucking back the carrot juice and wait till you see the color. And this is valuable too because honestly, the time for you to tan is running out. But in the wintertime, you don't want to get all pale. And so carrots it is.
I'm
Carrots
watching these videos.
menu.
It's kind of wild because none of these people that are eating these carrots are very tan.
They're pretty tan.
What are you talking about? You're like more tan than the first girl that pops
Well,
up.
I spend a lot of time tanning.
Exactly. This girl isn't even tan. The second one is actually pale.
Well, look at the before and after for this lady.
I'm waiting on it. See, it just doesn't really. I'm not seeing the tanness. I don't know. Maybe I just need some more carrots. I'll give it a try. I'll tell you how it goes.
Try. I think TikTok in this case, I mean, there's not even any doctors coming out and saying, no, don't do this. That's how you know it's a good trend.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
I've got a list of the most popular video games by each state. What each state's most popular video game is, the one they search for the most. Are you much of a gamer?
I used to play video games more.
Uh-huh.
Not so much now. When I was in college, I liked to play a lot of video games.
Uh-huh.
But not so much since I've started working here.
All right. Well, then this is going to be fun. I'm going to give you some of the video games that are popular in different states. And I want you, based off of the name, to tell me what the game is.
Oh, no.
What happens in the game.
Okay.
All right. The most popular game in California is a game called Genshin Impact.
Oh, boy.
You know what that is?
I have no idea what that is.
Well, take a wild guess.
Genshin Impact. It sounds as if a game where, what are you, like trying to conquer maybe some sort of European continents?
Is that what you get from that?
I think you're battling. Maybe you're building an army. It sounds like.
That's a good guess.
Is that pretty close?
No, it's not close at all, but there are video games like that.
Yeah, it seems like a kind of a similar thing.
No, Genshin Impact, it is where you are a traveler and you're trying to find your lost sibling who gets lost at the start of the game.
Well, that seems kind of somber.
It's kind of like anime style. You have to traverse different worlds. Every world has a different element tied to it. Every nation. Okay, how about this one then? How about, do you know what takes place in Elden Ring? That's the most popular game in Minnesota.
Elden Ring. See, I've heard of this game. Elden Ring. See, I feel that now you're gonna chase it with one that is a world conquering thing.
Okay.
Elden Ring, that has to do something to do with probably some sort of magic. It sounds like magic to me.
It definitely sounds like magic.
It sounds like magic. There's some sort of magic portion of it. But you're trying to find the rings?
Yeah, well, you want to brandish the power of the Elden Ring and become an Elden Lord in the lands between.
What is this? Is Lord of the Rings just in a video game form?
Kind of sounds similar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a game called Harvest Moon?
Harvest Moon? Oh, of course. No, I've never heard of this game.
Harvest Moon.
I assume this is some sort of like Farmville game?
No, it's not that at all. It is an agricultural. Well, actually, you're right. An agricultural. Can we cut and start over? Agricultural simulation role-playing video game. So it's role-playing. So it's not exactly the same as like
pretty on
Farmville or Stardew Valley.
What was that one called again?
That's Harvest Moon. That's the most popular game in the state of Maine. Let's see. In Ohio, you should be able to get this one because the most popular game in Ohio is Hogwarts Legacy.
That is for sure a Harry Potter thing.
It's clearly Harry Potter. A lot of the other ones I bet you could get because they've become popular outside of video games. Minecraft is very popular.
Of course, I know Minecraft.
The Last of Us, I'm sure you could probably guess on that one. And then, here's a good one. What about Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what Assassin's Creed is.
What is it?
It's like when you run around. It's like a free world thing, right?
Yeah, and you do what?
And you have like a sword, and you just go around and you just kill people.
Yeah, well, you assassinate them.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's Valhalla.
I don't really know what the point is at the end.
Valhalla is so that one takes place in kind of like Thor world.
Really?
Viking style.
Viking style.
Yeah, you gonna try any of these out?
I don't think so, unless I'm playing Minecraft. I like Minecraft.
You do like Minecraft?
Other than that, that's probably the only one of those that I would probably play.
Yeah.
The rest of them aren't really my jive.
Likewise, I think for me too as well. Now that I'm reading more about the ones I didn't know about, they don't sound like my speed.
Well, I'm glad that I could explain them to you.
Yeah, thank you for filling me in.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.